What's up, everybody? My name is Michael Rodriguez, and we're going to talk about the Midi Plus X6 Mini. So when I first started looking around for this keyboard, I couldn't find any type of review that was actually in English, except for my boy John Mike, who did a review of the smaller version. I believe it was like an X2 or something like that. When I first saw this floating around Amazon, I thought it looked cool. It had a nice vibe to it, nice style to it, and I was like, if the keys are cool, then that's exactly what I'm looking for, because I'm always into simple controllers that don't have a lot of functions. I really don't need all that. I'll do it in the computer, or I really just don't need all those controls. So this one was very intriguing just for the space saving capabilities of it. So I thought that this looked perfect for me. This looked exactly like something I would want. My main thing being a keyboard player, I wanted to know, how do the keys feel? As you can see behind me, I have 3 keyboards that I use all the time for production and live gigs and all sorts of playing, and they are all mini keyboards. They all have mini key beds. They're the Yamaha Reface YC on top, the Yamaha Reface CP in the middle, and a Microkorg XL Plus on the bottom. Now the keys on those are fantastic. I love the key beds on that. Does this key bed have any sort of that feel? And if it did, I'm all about it. I love mini keys. I think I'm a big supporter of it. I know I'm one of the few, but I think it's cool and I think it's great space saving. Let's start off with the pros of this keyboard. I really like it. Has 5 octaves in a small form factor. That's a major plus for me. It has the mini keys, which I'm used to, so that's fine for me. I also really like the number of controls it has. Most controllers that you see out today have a ton of knobs and dials and buttons, and honestly, I don't really like to mess with all that. I just like simple. I just want to play in, and then if I'm gonna edit, I'll edit afterwards. So I don't need all that control. You know, this is, of course, it's got the basics. It's got an octave switch. It's got modulation. It's got pitch bend. It has the import controls right here. It's got the knobs. It's got a shift control. It's got a little screen to see. I mean, the only one I ever use is the first one. The first one is like it's a dial that you can turn down the note velocity, I believe, and I'm sure you could program these for whatever you want. The back is pretty simple too. It's got an input for a sustain pedal, it's got a MIDI out, and it's got a USB out. And I use the USB out and I go to my computer through that. But I have also used the MIDI out. I also use it to control my other keyboards. I think all of those are positives. The simplicity, the style, the look of it, and the small form factor are really what put this keyboard in my view and why I wanted to get it. Now the cons. I'm not a big fan of the flat pitch bend and the flat modulation. I don't feel like they are as practical to use as a typical pitch bend and modulation wheel. I kind of wish it was a wheel, actually, because it's kind of difficult to use. It's not entirely accurate, the pitch wheel or the modulation, and I've seen it get stuck. It's cool that it has lights on it. I think that's really cool looking, and of course it looks cool, but it's hard to use. Maybe I'm just used to the pitch wheels, but I don't use it a ton, and if I do, I'll use it on another keyboard. But the major con, I think the key bed feels good. The white keys feel great. The white keys I'm into. It's the black keys. They're a little bit stiff. They're hard to push down. And the white keys feel normal to me. So, well, they're a little stiff too, but it's not that bad. They're not that noisy, which is cool. But they're a little bit stiff, so it's hard to hold down. It takes a little bit more strength to hold down. It's a little bit uncomfortable to hold down a lot of black keys. But other than that, I find it pretty damn playable. Like I said, I'm used to small keys, so it's not that big of a deal for me. And you know, as far as playing like single note stuff, like if you're playing a solo or a melody or something, it's not that bad. It's more like when you're going to play chords. When you're going to play chords, it really does make it a little bit difficult to hold down like big chords that it's just a little heavy. It's just a little too heavy. So the key bed is all right. But overall, I can get by with it, and this is my main controller right now. I really dig it, and I think that it's an overall good product, and I think more people need to hear about it, and that's why I made this video in English so you guys can check it out too. And it's pretty cheap. I think it sells for $109 or something like that. I bought it for. So it's not expensive and simple, clean, and small. I think that's perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. Fits on my desk great. So I'm overall very pleasantly pleased with this. Thanks for watching, and if you want to check out the Midi Plus X6 Mini or the John Mike video I mentioned, the links are below. So comment, like, share, and we'll see you on the next video. Later.